Hi, it's Sam the Man. Today I'm at KLCC Park again, but we're going to walk to Prince Court Medical Centre. Most of you probably don't know, but I've been seeing a psychologist and I'm going to see him today. And today I'm actually going to talk about my health and why Pokemon Go has made a significant assistance in helping me get better. So let's go for a walk. So today I'm using the hat cam and we'll find out how well this setup works. So on to my health. So I've had quite a few issues recently, and I thought I would talk to them. My psychologist says it's good to talk about it, and since I'm trying to be open with everyone watching these, I thought I would talk about these issues with you too. So I guess over the last couple of years now, I've had a lot of diarrhea. I know it's kind of one of those subjects that you don't really want to talk about, but it would come and go. And I'd actually been tested back near the start of when I first had the problems, and the doctors sort of said it was probably new allergies. I'd recently had some pretty significant allergic reactions. I'm allergic to nuts specifically, and they tested me and said I'd come down with an allergy to barley and shellfish. Very mild, but to avoid those foods. I thought that sort of made sense because, you know, there's barley, basically everything made with wheat. So also beer. I was drinking beer and the beer is made out of barley. So stopped drinking beer. And I sort of got better, but then I would get worse again. And then sort of got better, but then get worse again. And sort of knew something wasn't right and wanted to figure it out. Anyway, I moved to Malaysia end of July. And shortly after moving here, came down with what I thought was, well, first a cold, and then it turned into pneumonia. And I was, coughing and not able to breathe very well, so I went to the hospital and they put me on Ventolin. And then, the next day, was coughing and then just couldn't breathe at all. Like, not one bit whatsoever. Like, for about a minute I could not breathe. It was really scary. And then got to the hospital and they put me on Ventolin again. And sent me home. They sent me home. And then a couple of days later, a similar thing happened again. Where I just could not breathe at all. This time it was only about 30 seconds. But back to the hospital. And third time lucky, they submitted me into the hospital. I was there for about a week and diagnosed with lung inflammation. So I just had to be on some anti-inflammatories for about a week until my lungs were strong enough, I guess, to breathe on my own with no problems. And then, because of the not being able to breathe is pretty scary, and then that's kind of similar to if I have an allergic reaction and can't breathe. It really hit me with pretty severe anxiety as well. So started to see the psychologist and describe my symptoms with the the diarrhea and the anxiety symptoms. The trouble breathing and talking. and he was like, yeah, anxiety, put me on Lexapro and Xanax, and things started to get a little bit better. I definitely had anxiety, but I didn't get completely better. I was still having, the diarrhea had got better when I was in hospital, but then it got worse again. And then there was some blood in my stools, so I was off to see the gastroenterologist, who put me in for a colonoscopy, and I was diagnosed with colonitis. Now, reading about colonitis and the symptoms, it turns like it comes and it goes. It turns out I probably had it since I was about 24, with bouts coming and going. And throughout that whole time, whenever I went to see a doctor, they were just sort of, it's anxiety or stress. But now I've been properly diagnosed, and it fits really well with all my symptoms of, I mean, it's what I have. And the doctor put me on some medicine, and within a week I was almost better, and now it's a couple weeks later, and all those problems cleared up. And with the anxiety, it was kind of like a bit of a circular situation I was in, where the doctors would say, well, you've got anxiety, therefore you're getting diarrhea. And I would get diarrhea and think I must be anxious, I must be stressed, because that's what the doctors have told me, which would make me anxious and stressed. I was in a real circular cycle and just not getting better. But now that I've been properly diagnosed and on medication, I'm almost all better. I'm completely off the Xanax now, and today's visit to the psychologist is just to make sure that I am okay, make sure I'm sane, talking to myself, and also to come up with a strategy for coming off the Lexapro medication. Reading online, there's some, or can be some pretty severe side effects for just coming off cold turkey. But with any luck, I'll go to the doctor and it'll be all good. And you can see there, off in the distance, that building, that's Prince Court Medical Center. Fantastic hospital and really great doctors. They definitely have treated me very well. And the price is pretty reasonable. When I was there for a week, her hospital room plus all the medication costs about the same amount as going to the Shangri-La for a week. So if you're sick, need to go to the hospital, you may, and you're planning a holiday anyway, just come to Prince Court Medical Center instead of going to the Shangri-La. You've probably seen on the walk, there's lots of construction going on. There's one there, one there, one there, all over the place. The city center is developing like crazy. But yeah, so that's pretty much my health issues. Pretty much all better, but yeah, so I have colonitis, which means probably my alcoholic consumption going forward is probably going to be somewhat limited, but we'll see how I go and see how long I need to be on medication for, whether it's only when I'm having issues or if it's full time. Oh, I just hatched an onyx out of one of my 10-kilometer eggs. Hopefully it's good. Let's have a look while I'm in the shade. It is, it's a wonder, fantastic. That will turn into a Steelix when Gen 2 Pokemon come out. Yeah, so the Pokemon part, whilst I was very anxious and diarrhea, I was quite lethargic, and yeah, it was much easier just to sit at home and watch TV rather than get out and do anything. But doctor's orders with my lungs, I had to do exercise. I had to rebuild the strength of my lungs. And timing wise, Pokemon Go actually came out whilst I was in hospital. So, or perhaps it was, it came out just before I went to hospital. But yeah, doctor's orders, I had to walk around or do exercise, and so with the Pokemon you have to walk around and do a lot of exercise, and I've sort of taken that on and been walking. I started off just sort of doing 1 or 2 kilometers, and then sort of 5 kilometers a day, which is good because I could hatch a 5-kilometer egg every day. Then 10 kilometers, and there's been a few days I've even walked 20 kilometers. And you'll get to see some of the benefits of that as I record with this camera. On the side of the camera it says I can record for 4 hours on this setting. So I can really go for some decent walks and record it all for you. But it can be pretty hot out during the day here, so we'll see how long I go for walks with you. Maybe we'll do some exciting night walks. But this is Prince Court, so here now I'll go for my appointment, and hopefully it's good news. Hopefully I'm all better. So, good news. Definitely getting better. The doctor recommended I take the Lexapro for 1 more month rather than go off, just to make sure that I don't have any anxiety relapses. And then in a month I'll start to go off it. So that's great news. I guess having had these anxiety problems, it's made me a lot more aware of just how irrational some of these mental health problems can be, and how yeah, people have no control over it. I certainly am a big supporter of helping people with mental health problems after having had some myself. And I was thinking about how to describe it. And I think for the problems that I experienced, I guess it's, you know, a lot of the anxiety was related to eating food because of my food allergies. And I guess especially traveling with those food allergies, that didn't help. And I think the best way to describe it for me would be, imagine that there was someone out there who went and picked up a really big redback spider, like big, and then they're antagonistic towards it. They're aggressive towards it, and that spider is really upset. And then that person goes and throws that spider at you. So that spider is then going to basically want to attack you. That spider lands on your arm, and you are going to be, you're going to get that shot of adrenaline. You're a little bit scared that that spider is going to bite you and what might happen when that poison kicks in. You're going to rush to get it off as soon as you can. You're going to slap your wrist. You're going to you're going to have that adrenaline coursing through your body with this big, vicious redback spider on you. And then, so let's say that that actually happened once, and you had that experience and it wasn't very pleasant. And then you go out again and you meet someone else, or in my case, you're going out to go get some food, and you know that that person isn't holding a redback spider and about to throw it at you, but you feel like they are, and you may even think and see that they are, and you're going to experience all that same feeling as if there actually is, even though you know you can physically see that there's no spider there. They're not throwing a spider at you, but you feel like there's a chance that maybe they're holding it behind their back and they're about to throw it at you. And it was just completely irrational. Like, I knew I was fine. Like a bowl of rice. There's no nuts in a bowl of rice. But, you know, I could eat that bowl of rice and just be anxious that I'm about to have a reaction, or even feel like I'm having a reaction. And it, you know, really wasn't as easy as, well, you know, just change the way you think, or, you know, just don't be afraid of it. Well, it was totally irrational, a rational mindset. So you couldn't just change the way you think. I definitely needed medical intervention to help get better. I mean, it was a sickness, and yeah, because of having experienced that, I definitely have a lot more respect for people experiencing these mental health problems, and the complete irrationality to it. Again, until I experienced it myself, I didn't realize how irrational and how severe it can be. So, I mean, if you have any mental health problems, I definitely encourage you to go and seek help. You know, I don't really see most of the people watching this, probably my friends and family, and you know, I don't see you all every day, don't talk about it with you all every day, so probably a lot of you didn't even know I was having any problems at all. Talking about it for me was definitely a big part of the process towards getting better. Important to stay hydrated.